And we are live. Welcome everybody. This is the amateur bracket stream for good old RRC number 36. I'll be your host today, Carson, and we got plenty of wonderful players, both new and old, coming in to play in this one. I'm just gonna post this in the tournament announcements chat. Amateur bracket is now live. And I'm going to do that. Hell yeah. Alrighty. So I decided to do a camera today, if you didn't notice. I cleaned up my room and I made my shit look nice, so thought it'd be nice to at least give a bit of visual flair to the stream and whatnot. Right, either way, we'll be getting right into this first game as soon as possible after I realize that I didn't put in the title for this. Right, we'll be starting on winners semifinal. No, winners quarters? Quarters, right. Yeah, quarters. I couldn't count before. Winners. Quarter. I'm pressing everything but the buttons I want. Winners, quarters, finals. And the tournament name is RRC number 36. Amateur bracket. And I forgot to change my gain down, so I've been peeking this entire time, and I apologize for that. Alright. There we go. And that should be a lot better on the mic side of things. I am really sorry for that. That is an embarrassing one. Alrighty. And I'm gonna hide that because I don't. That's kind of in the way. Alright. So, we're going to be starting off with SRN Ember Revenge, my boy, part of my clan, and versus Slushy Spirit, a regular and very active person in RRC. Wonderful person to interact with, very nice, very kind, and also a really up-and-coming player. This is their second time getting top 8 in the bracket, which is really good to see. It's really nice to see people improve and start getting their numbers up there. So either way, I just gotta double check where they're going to be. Nice. Alright. These matches here, and it starts there. Okay. So I did have these on the right side, which is what I was waiting on. So we got Mr. Ember playing Zetterburn, and we got Slushy. Yes, First Dan. My hand's right here for you to hold. Just reach into the monitor and grab. And we got Slushy on Orient Sign, and I forgot to change the ew. This has the old models. Gross. There we go. Look at that. DE quality. So good. So good. Alright. Anyway, so we're going to get right into the set. We're going to be starting on Merchant Port. Pretty neutral starter for both these characters. I think Zetterburn benefits from a little more edge cancels and whatnot. And a double dash attack coming in to immediately start that set. Right. Biggest thing about neutral in this, though Ember isn't really taking advantage of it, is Ember is a really big deal, obviously. Zetterburn. Cybe's just... Oh, it lost to the dash attack there. I did not know. Ooh, that was a really good recovery to catch the... And accidentally flying. Kind of just looking to forward smash a little there. Slushy, which it's good to stand there and forward smash to get the use of the team up attack. And unfortunate DI. It's up and in on that one if you don't know. Oh, whoops. I actually had my mic a little too loud before, so that's why it's a bit too low now. There we go. Alright. How's that? That better? You're too late, Octo. But, as I was saying earlier, one thing I suggest when edgeguarding Slushy, especially against Zetterburn and whatnot, is Team Up Forward Strong can be really good at catching Zetter when he's trying to come up the ledge because it kind of pulls him up out of it. He can technically tech it during that period, but if he's not able to get that timing, it's really free edgeguard. But generally, your better bet is to try to stick to lower committal options. Sign is really good at edge guarding because you allow yourself to put a hitbox there without putting your actual self at risk, and because they're in the air, unless they perfect wave land on and then parry immediately, they cannot contest it. Okay, I'll turn that up. Right. I technically have my game volume a bit higher for myself, just because I like it to kind of play music. So, ooh, going out for an edge guard. Let's go. Ooh, good mix up. Good mix up. Akko, you got fucked. Right. Oh, good double up to catch him, trying to get the recovery mix up there. Almost had to wait to cover the parry. The panic parry from Ember was able to get it. Woo! The F kill being down strong, but just the raw up smash to finally take that set. That makes it 1-0 so far for my good pal Ember, as we shall be moving on to game 2. Alright, awesome. Thank you. I forgot to do a check before because I was doing something before bracket, because typically I like to do like a sound check and everything, and then before bracket I was like, wait, shit, there's been sets put in here. I need to start streaming. Uh-oh. But either way, we'll be moving to Tower of Heaven for game 2. Ember has decided to just change his skin. Still going the same character. Interesting choice for Slushy. I believe this is personal preference. I can't really speak to what stages these characters specifically like. That's the one problem with playing Sylve, because what stages characters like against Sylve isn't the same against... Ooh, that's an unfortunate SD. Happens to everyone though. Still can get back into the game. Right, Slushy able to start getting a bit more into this game due to that. The one thing I'm kind of noticing with your combo, Slushy, is you seem to be hesitating a little bit when you're doing stuff. I think it'd be really good to start watching some other Ori clips, see kind of the stuff that they go for, and generally like higher level Oris, like Mystic Fear is a great example. Ones that are around a bit closer to the like just high level is stuff like Gabe and Flames, Balderrock, those are my 2 SRM boys. They're really good to watch to start getting your combos to be a bit more fluid. Otherwise, you're doing pretty alright. Ember's just kind of getting beat up this game. No, haven't had a lot to say for you, Ember, sadly, so far, but... Whoa! Oh! I saw what you were going for. That was almost clean. The panic down strong is the only reason that Slushy didn't get hit by that. Right. And then there's the down strong, finally able to take the stock, Ori being really light to survive at that percent. Ooh. In situations like that, Ember, you're probably best flat dropping directly on top of them with Shine, due to it having the hitbox right below it, and basically no delay. And the Ori F Strong doesn't really have a hitbox inside of her, at least very much so. So it probably would have been your safest bet. Really good DI on these forward strongs. You're reacting to when you're going to get hit by it really well. Ooh, he's going to die there. Yep. Not quite enough of a space to do that. Unfortunate game 2. That's 2 SDs coming in from Ember, but happens to the best of us. Right? Just something to learn and improve on. Maybe one... I don't know if it's... I'm pretty sure it's more turny nerves, so I can't really give you a direct suggestion for it. It's just more... Get used to playing in the different ping environments, get used to the feel of it, and just try to not allow yourself to panic, because panic is typically how things like that happen. So understand that, yes, get yourself to feel confident enough with your recovery that it's like, yes, especially because Slushy wasn't really covering your recovery. I said yes like 5 times in a row there. So instead, maybe get it so that you feel confident enough with your recovery that no matter the situation, you can just feel comfortable doing it. So you're never in a panic state, so then you just kind of do it instead of being all tight and missing stuff, right? And panicking and trying to do too much. Either way, that's makes a set 1-1 so far between Ember and Slushy. And we'll be moving on into game 2, which will be on Rockwall, classic stage that both characters really like. I believe Zedbrand would like this one a little bit more, but I can't really speak for, because Ori up air shenanigans off the side is also just, like, gross. So it's really good for her, too. Right. So... a lot more use of Fireball coming out from Ember here, noticing that Slushy's not really able to deal with it. It's really good on him to notice that, and the only thing I'd say is once you notice that, because I'll wait to see. I'll wait to make an extra opinion on this as Slushy adapts, because then that's how you start mixing up your fireball game and whatnot, which is important to be able to recognize. Ooh, really good combos. That's the one thing I noticed, Ember. You have like these moments where you get a hit in, and then you like hit like these really nice combos. And once you improve your neutral game a little and like stop the issues with like your recovery and whatnot, then you're gonna be just going. I think you can easily make main bracket with that type of skill. Oh, it's still too loud. And just that conversion able to take it out. Oh, that's because I was turning down the wrong thing before. Well, now. Alright, there we go. That should be a bit better. Alright. Anyway. So, back to the set. Ember really having come back for this one, able to have a 2-stock lead. Biggest thing about covering Zetaburn recovery is it's hard. You need to react to when he has a hitbox or not, in effectively the way in either he's going to pity flip or use down B, especially if he's above you. Otherwise, it's trying to space yourself to up B, which again, like I said earlier, Slushy, really good thing when edge guarding any character as unfortunate DI, but any good way to cover any character's edge guard as Ori is to just use Sign. Sign is so good. If they're stuck in the air, they obviously can't parry. Their only option is to do like an air dodge out of the way, or to just completely avoid that massive space that Sign is able to take up. Ember taking game 3, I should say, to make it 2-1 for Ember as we move into the next match of this set, which is going to be on Forest 4. Interesting choice from Slushy. I'd say the space. All my stage opinions are based on Ori wanting to get pressure at close range, but I don't think that's actually a good thing in this matchup, so I think maybe the space is a good thing. I can't really comment on that one, sadly. I wish I had my boy Sep, who's another Ori player, to be able to give his opinion on this, but it is how it is. If anyone wants to join me in for the commentary that I know is a bit of a better player, I would love for you to join in and help me provide some advice and critique and to give me someone to bounce off. If not, I shall be here solo with you guys all night. Gotta get some water. Alright. And I come back to Slushy, able to take that first stock. Pretty convincing first one from him, or her. I don't know Slushy's preferred pronouns. I'm going to have to ask them at some point. Either way, they are doing fairly well. Right. It's starting to panic a little bit there, though, Slushy. Gotta... At a moment like this, Slushy, when you're in the lead, the best thing you can do is to force your opponent into you. Right? You got the speed, you can just move around them. You don't need to be pressing buttons. You can just wait for them to press a button and then counter-engage back on them, whip punish them, and make them hurt for having to make that comeback. Which, especially at this level, a lot of players are going to get antsy when they're a stalker any percent down. So you can take really good advantage of that. And that happens at a lot of levels. It's not just a low-level thing. A lot of people start to get antsy when they're behind. So you can start calling them out for pressing buttons a bit more. Ooh, almost really bad DI on that one. Right, I thought the classic Zetaburn down strong. Right, that move is so scary for how fast it is. Ooh, getting the forward smash. Are we gonna get the edge guard? Slushy, the one thing, good F smash there. Good F smash there though. But the one thing I would really want you to start seeing you do in the future is a lot more Sign. I know it's hard to use at first, but if you start getting yourself used to it now, it's so good. Sign is... There's a reason why Ori is called Sign and Ori, right? It is literally a defining part of her neutral and her advantage state when it comes to stage control. So it's a really important tool to learn how to use. If you don't know already, one thing that you can do for Sign, because I know the scariest part about it is like, oh, I have to hold it, and that's really hard. Well, you don't. You can do, you can just click and hold for a second and then let go, and then it will just automatically start Sign, and then afterwards you can then click it again to activate Sign again, which is a lot easier of a way to use it. Oh my god. Oh, the unfortunate DI, but that was kind of funny, the combo right at the end there. Ember able to finally take the set 3-1 over Slushy, as now we move into the next game of winners quarterfinals, which is going to be Samsung 27 versus Big Dumb Waifu. Right? Even though he spells it Big Dumb Waifu, I'm just going to put Waifu because I like to press less buttons. Alright, anyway, I'm going to do this real quick. Get rid of that. Let's go. Also, if anybody has any questions, always just feel free to ask it in the chat. Right? I am here to help in more than just the game that's actually on the screen. I'm here to help in any way I can. And I'm being announced. Okay. Either way. Sorry, I was just looking at a ping on something. And we got to go into the next set, which, as I said, was Samsung 27 versus Big Dumb Waifu. 27 versus... You know what? I'm going to put it like that, yeah. And we'll take it back. And I need to check what characters they'll be playing. That's that set. Oh, that's the other set. There it is. So those are the names. Alright. Wait, what? Oh, okay, never mind. It just got confusing by the way what things looked. So we've got another Zetaburn coming on, as well as good old Absa. Other two characters I don't really know a lot about, so I won't, other than like generalist stuff that I do know from talking to like Nex and a couple other people, and just Zetaburn stuff I know from watching Balloon Doggo's stuff. I really don't have a lot to add in, sadly. I'll just probably try to provide as much general neutral and whatnot tips as I can. Okay, and I'm actually going to spell that properly. Yeah. Big Dumb Waifu, or Waifu, I guess, technically. Alright. There we go. And I need to double check. Okay, I need to switch them around. Gonna hit that button. Look at that. That was easy. I love that. Alright. And now, we'll be going into winners quarters, game 2. Game 2. Set 2. The second set of winners quarters. Big Dumb Waifu versus Samsung 27 on Tower of Heaven. Interesting start from both. Kind of playing a little bit more cautious. Ooh, good bubble pop combo there. Right, I think this... I believe this is probably a better Zerder stage because this kind of gives him the movement to be able to get around Absa's projectiles a little bit more. Quite not as bad as some other stages, but it's also pretty good for Absa's combo game. So, ooh, seeing the predictions on both sides, getting those really good parries. Right, obviously we want a little bit bigger than the other. There we go. There's the Absa starting to get the space. That's the biggest thing you want in this matchup. Absa has no tools at close range that can beat out Zetaburn, so you really need to keep your space and keep command of it. Oh, I like the idea there. I think it's a little better to make sure your cloud's a little bit over the edge to make sure it works well. Right? Yeah, exactly like that. There we go. Good DI coming out from Samsung, though. Just barely surviving. Oh! Ooh! That was really good, Samsung. And at the funny percent. Right? Now, Samsung really wants to play the keep away game here. That is their best bet. Ooh, be careful with those underlines at that thing. It worked in that scenario, but if you get parried there, you cannot recover. You need to be careful with that because Thunderline, it's a little bit harder to parry online due to lag and whatnot. But if the person is paying attention, then that's basically a free stock for them. Which is really dangerous to go for. Ooh, Accidentally dropping the combo there. That was the perfect DI to get some delicious up air confirmations. Either way. Right, back into the edge guard scenario. This is where Zedburn has it rough. Right, your best bet is to try to stay close to the edge, especially if they put that there, to potentially stay close to the edge, purposely get hit by it, and then you can tech on the ledge, and then use that to your advantage to then either move into them or to get some form of punish on them, because you do get the invulnerability, and ooh, that conversion. Love the weight on the up smash there to make sure it hits, but that's why the stage might be a good Absa stage, because that was meaty as fuck. Put a quiet in the chat there. Right, everybody must be playing their set still. Ooh, big, the scary down air. Getting hit by that move always makes my self feel rocked a little. Alright, seems that you need to get a little bit more practice getting your conversions out of up tilt there, Samsung, but you're doing pretty good overall. Right? Ooh, there we go. It's just the drop conversions that are hurting you, man. Right? Your neutral's actually pretty alright, and you're doing stuff pretty good. Right? Especially the edge guards, but need to get that neutral down a little bit more, and need to get the combos down a little bit more, and then you'll be taking stocks really early. Right? Good avoiding, good avoiding. Love the up B movement to mix up your neutral and spacing there. Right, waifu, this is hard. This is exactly where you don't want to be, and yeah, I don't know in that scenario if you would have been able to go low enough to get your double jump back from your down B. It's rough. Right, I think enlisting some pity flips and edge cancels into your recovery will help a lot. Being able to try to recover higher and get the edge cancels off those side plats on Tower of Heaven are really powerful. It's a bit harder against Abso because obviously she covers a lot of that space really well, but if you're able to start getting your... Because what Pity Flip and a couple other things do is allows your recovery to become a lot faster, which then makes it the onus on the opponent to have to react and be ready for what you do faster versus being able to be just like, okay, you're up being... This is going to be slow, I'm going to wait for it, and then I'm going to punish it, and then at most I have to react to like whatever tech you do or something on that. So if you're able to mix it up a little bit more, then you'll be good to go. Either way, good game one coming up from Samsung, able to take out that set as I accidentally had that listed in wrong because I forgot to change that. Samsung taking game one, as we'll be moving into game two, which is going to be on Spirit Tree, classic good Zedburn stage, the low ceiling and the low edge blast zones, and how the platforms are makes it a lot better for him to recover. I think it's a pretty good Absa stage too. Up tilt up air, that's the word I'm looking for, kills crazy early on this, so you have to be ready to DI those out depending on which side you're on. Otherwise, you are getting easily converted on. Otherwise, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully the smaller stage can give waifu that little bit of space he needs to get the combos, and it seems to be working as we almost get the... Oh! Gross! You got him! Always got to be ready for those techs, but I don't blame you for missing that tech, Samsung. Oh, that was grody. Right. And there's one to talk about a little bit with the Thunderline there too, because the only time that I think the Thunderline is really good to do is when you know it's going to get your opponent, which is easier said than done, because it's easy to like say to yourself like, oh, I knew that was going to hit, right? Where unless you know your opponent's committed to an option or they have a really bad habit, I don't think it's a good thing to try to do. So I think it's something that you might want to look into not doing later into your games. Either way, Waifu's doing a really good job of taking his advantage here, just playing slightly outside of the ranges and getting those moves in. Might look like he's mashing, but it's a bit smarter looking than it is. Right? Now, here comes the hard part. Are you able to recover here? That time you are. That's a great example of where stage can help a lot in just changing up the dynamic of a match. Right? The only way that Samsung would have been able to cover both is if they put a Cloud right on the outer edge there to cover both him trying to come up underneath and also on top of that plat. But either way, finally able to get the stock with the early up air kill like I was talking about on the stage. So I guess 120% isn't really early for up air. Right? Again, gotta practice those conversions. Once you can get yourself able to react... Oh my god, that wait. That was so good, Waifu. That was a great stock. Great 2-0 comeback there. As Waifu takes game 2. Gonna be interesting to see if Samsung can answer back, because it seems like he got him really off guard there. I keep saying him because that's my automatic response. I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong pronouns at all. I don't mean to. It's just trying to work with it, as I mentioned a couple streams ago. With the ADHD, I kind of autopilot a lot of my vocal habits, and I don't do it purposely, and it's hard for me to correct. I'm trying to correct it like I'm noticing now, but either way, I'm going to try to use they from now on. And we're going to move into the second set. Not second set, second game of the second set. As Big Dumb Waifu evens it up, and we move into Air Armada for game 2. This is very much so a good Apsu stage, able to camp up at those top plats, just as he is showing there, right? Right, already trying to take advantage of it, and being a bit loosey-goosey with his movements, though, and not able to quite get the conversion, right? I think the biggest thing I'm noticing, Samsung, is that sometimes when you get hits, it seems like you're just not ready for the fact you're going to get a hit. Which, and this is a game sense thing, so it's not something that you can just, like, magically get. It's something you need to work on with time and think about. No, you have to figure out when you know a move's going to hit. Which seems like it's easy, but it's a lot easier said than done. Because once you're like, ooh, good tag. Once you're fully confident in that you're going to be hitting these moves, then you can preemptively start being ready for the conversions based on a couple of factors. Obviously, with DI and other things... Oh, ew, that purpled? Gross. Either way, even though... the purple right back. Even though it's hard to have that confidence, especially at this level... Once you're able to have that confidence and, like, knowing that, like, hey, I'm going to hit this move, and they're probably going to DI it this way. I'm moving over there already, and I'm throwing that move out before I'm absolutely certain that's going to hit, because I'm confident in the fact that I have that estimation. And then that allows you to get these, like, great conversions that happen quickly, which makes it difficult to DI, which works really good. Just like there, as you can see, after he hit that fair, he just jumped out immediately. He was ready to get that secondary conversion, right? Which is a really good thing to have. Almost getting the parry there, which means that you're probably using that Thunderline a little too much. Be careful about that, as I've said, and I'll stop saying now because I've kind of said it to death. Right, really good recovery there. Able to get out, not quite though with the up air finally taking the stock. Alrighty. Just have to look at something there real quick. Ooh! Got a DI out on that one. We gotta be ready for the dash attack. Ooh! This is a scary moment against Setter. Any move of his can straight up purple you potentially. As we saw earlier with how early that down smash hit it. Right, gotta be careful with those neutral Bs. And Waifu, when you notice that Apps is being ready for that, you can react to it visually. Once you see that the cloud starts to darken and it starts to come across, that's when you can parry. That's the perfect timing, and it gets it every time for you. Parry's decently lenient. Oh, held him there. Oh, the DI mix-up. That's rough. I know you were DIing out to... sorry, you were DIing in to try to survive the potential conversion. Because if they down tilted there and you're DIing out, then you would have just died. But you got to react to when they change it up and mix it around, which obviously a lot easier said than done. Either way, great comeback by Samsung coming into that game, as now it's 2-1 for Samsung going into game 4 of this set. Gonna move over to that, and we'll be moving over to Floor's Floor. A lot of stage variety in this set. Love it. I love when people just mix around stages all the time. It's really nice. Shows that they're willing to learn and improve and try to do different stages, try different things. Right? Or that they have different preferences. That might be all it comes down to. My shirt keeps becoming unbuttoned, which is annoying. The buttons on this shirt are way too small for its size. I need to potentially put new buttons in this baby. Right. Also, I really like the ideas that you're going with the up B movement. Once you get that down, and one thing that you can do that's really good is you can do single up B movement. Ooh, good parry, good parry. Right, recognizing that he had the timing a little off. Let's go. Right. Really good set between these two. I've noticed the amateur skill level has gone a lot higher than it used to be, which is great to see. Right, it kind of shows that the kind of lower floor of the entire tournament's kind of stepping up, which is really nice to see, because it's not even just like someone just getting an unlucky bracket and then just getting sent to amateurs and sweeping it. Like every time, every match I see, I have no idea who's going to win. Like I have some guesses based on who I know and who I think might win, especially with previous history. But realistically, I got no idea, and that, oh my god, that just kind of got you, right? Really even sets between these two. The only like kind of blowout set has been the game 2 when Weifu came back, but overall they're really coming back and forth, which I love to see. These types of sets are always intense, and there's so much you can learn from it because you're getting these like extended interactions that allow you to see, okay, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What can I improve from here? Right? These are the types of set that you want to send into VOD review, even as the winner or the loser, because both players have lost games, both players have something to learn from, and it's really good overall. Right? Ooh. Ooh, great DI there. Knowing that he's trying to get him into that, I think maybe a down tilt coming from Samsung would have been able to get that conversion better, but noticing that where he was on him, that neutral B up smash, able to take it. I don't know why it didn't just say shine. Either way. Right, now here's the hard part for the person coming from behind, and that Weifu, like I was mentioning the Slushy last game, is now taking advantage of. Ooh, ow, ouch, that hurts. Right, finally able to get it back. Bit too preemptive on the parry. I don't think you were trying to look to parry the Thunderline there. You're trying to parry him swinging at you. Right, had the timing slightly off. Ugh. Ooh, great Rising Thunder there. Up air. Great Rising Thunder to catch that. He knew that he was trying to get that down tilt, scratching at the surface there, and just kind of electrocuting his little kitty claws for doing it. Right, now here's the hard part. Ooh, able to just barely peek over the edge and get him from moving too close. Oh, ooh, and there goes the game 2 to Big Dumb Weifu, making it even 2-2. Next game settles it all for this winner's quarters. We'll be seeing who goes into losers as we move to Treetop. That is a really good Zetter stage. I don't know if it's a personal preference for the stage, Samsung, but based on what I know, and even like taking into account character matchups, I think this is not worth it to pick. Right? I'll say that straight up. I don't think this is a good enough Absa stage to make up for how disgusting of a Zetterburn stage it is. It's kind of like me. I really like Armada, one of my favorite stages in the game, but I'm not picking it against Craig. I hate it. It's bad against Craig. Craig is so good on that stage, and I will never pick it against Craig. I'll ban it just because of how good it is for that character. I'm always of the opinion that stage picks are mostly like personal preference, but I think there's certain characters and certain matchups that benefit way too much off of certain stages that the pick can matter so much. Now, let's see the match first before I go on any more of a tirade here, because they might prove me wrong. They might just absolutely annihilate Big Dumb Weifu here, and everything I said was for naught. But we shall see. Right, already having a pretty good start. One thing I really noticed that you're really good with, Samsung, is you have those spacings for your up B to instantly go to those the top plats of those stages really well. I wish you used it a bit more than the start of the match. That's I kind of noticed you kind of do it. You're like, haha, look what I can do, and then you don't really use it anymore. So if you can start using it a bit more in your neutral, because that's like a lot because of how slow Absa's double jump is to get to those top plats. That's the optimal way to do it. That's way quicker. You're in less end lag. It's so good, and I'd love to see you use it more. Right? Because I know with tech sometimes, like, you learn it, but then you don't really apply it because you're not thinking about where to use it. And I think it's something that's going to be the next evolution for your gameplay to be able to get it a bit better. Right? Ooh! The back air finally able to take that stock. Going to be interesting to see if Samsung does prove me wrong on my points earlier. Right? This is the moment you're being a bit too button happy and it gets you hit. Right? You need to play, when you're in that scenario, as I've said a couple times now, your opponent wants to hit you. They're behind. They're scared. They're like, I don't like this. I want to win, and I'm not winning right now, so I need to get myself to be winning. So you need to realize that and be like, okay, I'm going to play back. I don't need to press buttons. I know you're going to press buttons. And then when I see you press a button, then I'm going to hit my buttons. And it works so well for you. Right? Ugh. Big Dumb Waifu kind of starting to make that comeback. Oh, the double dash attack. Not quite able to cover that, but the bad DI. Trying to get away from it. Pressing that out button. Need to be ready to DI. The biggest thing I always say, when you know you're going to get hit, especially in online, don't try to avoid it, especially when you're playing a slow character. Ooh, big, meaty up air, able to take that 150%. Really good. Ooh, I'm seeing the Nair 1 combos. Really good tech on Waifu there to prevent the conversion. Uh-oh. Oh no! Didn't wall jump in time. That's unfortunate. Or they already used their wall jump. I don't fully remember, but unfortunate end to that set, but really good set between these two overall. Lots of good conversions on both sides. Really looking forward to seeing how these two improve as the tourney goes on. I think Samsung has a pretty good chance to meet Big Dumb Waifu into Grand Finals. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can bring it up into that. As now we'll be moving into losers second, losers round 2. And I forgot to change that. We'll be turning into losers round 2. And the first set of that we'll be watching is, I have to check the bracket, Newfie versus Fenneco. Fenneco, sorry. I should know that name. I watched Agretsuko. Sadly, the third season of that show kind of went doo-doo. But that is beside the point. We are not here to discuss shows. We are here to discuss rivals of Aether. Yeah! Alright. Where's these matches? Do I have them downloaded? I do. Do. Wait, what? Is that... Sorry, people having different names than they should. That's annoying. I believe this is the right set. Newfie, please try to have the... I would really prefer if people have the same tags as they do in Steam as they do on their challenge. It makes my life a lot easier to figure this stuff out. I have a lot of matches to go through and I can only look at these, so it would be nice if you're able to do that. Either way, I believe this is Newfie versus Fenneco. And Newfie is whipping out the good old Rano, or Renault, as some people say, for some odd reason. And Fenneco on Sylvanos, my boy. And that's not Sylvanos, that is already. And Fenneco hasn't won any yet. Alright. Game 1, Merchant. My favorite starter is Sylv. I think it benefits Rando a little bit more, though, so you got to be careful of that one. And interesting choice on the turnaround down tilt there. There we go. Ooh! Being a little fancy with the combos there. Getting caught by the tongue at the start. Right? I'm seeing the seed combos. I'm seeing, right? Really even overhaul. Biggest thing against Rano, you need to play grounded. You need to know you need to play grounded. Ooh, unfortunate DI on that. You need to play grounded when you know he has well-charged needles, because they, as you can see, they go up and around. So you need to be careful that if you jump, then that's a really quick option that he can punish you with, which makes it a lot rougher, especially for Sylv. You don't have the frame data to even like swat the needles out before they hit you. So what you can do, good catch with the down smash there, able to take the stock. What you can do as Sylph, and any character that's really important to learn, is to be able to, I'm about to sound like the Dacus meme, man. Holy shit. What you want to do is just hold down in neutral, and when you get hit by the needles, you'll do this thing called a crouch cancel, which literally is just crouching. When you get hit by any projectile that does less than 7%, it makes you take reduced knockback, and you still take the same damage, but the reduced knockback and hit stun is very important, because then you're able to react faster, so then you can know that you're in less end lag than the enemy character is, which is very, very important, because frames are everything in this game. Right? That is how much room you have to do things, and giving yourself as much room as possible to do that thing is very important. Right. Pretty good combos coming out from you, Fenico, so far. Just kind of... You kind of just need those final hits, is what I'm feeling. And Nufi, I can really feel you struggling. You had a pretty good start, but now that... And this is a bit of a Sylph thing. Once you're kind of stuck in the combo tree, you kind of struggle to figure out what to do. Like, you get hit, you get put back into neutral, and then you're just kind of hitting buttons and hoping that it works. So I think you need to look to when you get back into the ability to be able to have control in the game, you need to think and get a feel more to try to use movement to try to get in more, versus just like kind of hitting a button and praying. Either way, really good game one from Fenico, kind of making the comeback after the bit of a struggle early game, as now we will be moving into game two. Alright, moving over to Tower of Heaven. Pretty good Rano stage. I think it's pretty alright Sylph stage, and we shall see. And I'm going to take a quick drink because my throat is parched. Oh, that was nice. Really good mortar combos from you there, Fenico. And that was a 0 to death. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Let's go. Right, kind of a lot better start for you that game. Ooh. I always flinch a little when I see that in neutral. Right, jab jab special. It's a neutral tool until it isn't. Which is when the other person learns that, oh hey, the parry button exists. Right. I'll quiet in chat. Come on, lads. Chat with me. Ask some questions. Figure out what's going on. I don't know if everybody's just too busy doing other things. Right? I can't really see the amount of people in chat. A couple. Oop. Up smash. Almost about to take it. Right. The biggest thing about covering Sylph recovery as Rano is you can play it really aggressively. Needles beats out upbeat, actually. So able to use that and do... Oh, unfortunate. Gotta use bubble recovery there. Bubble recovery isn't great to have to use, but if you can use it, it's better than not being able to recover at all in STA, because it still puts the onus on your opponent to cover your recovery and kill you for it. Right? Ooh, down air, fair. Pushing him into doing the raw bear. I'm seeing ya, I'm seeing ya. Whenever, fun fact as Rano versus Sylph, as long as Sylph doesn't have grass, side B covers both, if you space it properly, covers both options, and gives you a really good thing for a punish. Either way. Sylph combo's coming out. Looking for the bear, trying to get the confirm, not quite able to get it. Trying to use the downbeat to do the tech coverage, but doing it a little too early. Interesting upbeat there. Oh yeah, I'm getting tired already. This is not good. I have a lot more games to go through. Ooh. Starting to catch up there, Newfie. Is he going to be able to take this set? Oh. Getting the parry. Oh. This is that stressful moment that everybody hates in these games, and there's the stock able to finally be taken. That's rough. I wish obviously you could DI up and in to survive, but that's not the hard part. the hard part isn't the DI. The hard part is knowing what side you're on and how to DI it. The way Sylph down smash works is on either side of it, it has a corkscrew effect. So this side of it sends you inward, and then this side of it sends you inward that way. So you need to be preemptively DIing the other direction, and Sylph can change that up on a whim effectively by moving towards you or behind you. And if you're in the center of him, it feels like a 50-50 guess. So I don't blame you for not being able to DI that. That's not a you don't know how to DI. That's you didn't react in time to DI it properly. That's just something you'll get with game sense and time. I wish there was a better answer than that, but I don't think there really is. You just have to recognize what side of Sylph you're on and to preemptively DI that direction first. Because you know when Sylph's close to you, you're at that kill percent, you're probably going to get hit by down smash, especially if you're in end lag. You can't parry, you know you're going to get hit, start that DI, guess as best as you can. Anyway, good game 2 coming out from Fenico, able to take that game pretty well after having a bit of a rough stock 3 there on both sides. And now we'll be moving on to game 3. Will we see the Newfie making the comeback? We shall see. Either way, moving back to Merchant Port, just the Estuary version, the Rano Classic. I know Code loves this stage. Biggest thing about the Sylph matchup, I notice you have the DI right there, Newfie, but you need to do no-tech parry. Whenever Sylph jab specials, it's a really free parry, and then you get a full parry punish out of it, which as Rano is amazing. Rano's parry punishes are so good, and I think if you're able to start parrying the jab special, you can really take advantage of Sylphs at this level who, once you start doing that, they really struggle to deal with the game. Right? Really loving the bear usage from you, Fenico. You have a lot of really good ideas for it, and it's part of why you were able to get that 0 to death in the first stock of game 1. Oh! Getting caught by the up B spike. Gotta be ready for that. The hardest part about covering Sylph's recovery is that he has a super active hitbox on his up B. So if you're able to recognize that he will have that hitbox, that's why Rano's actually pretty good at edge guarding him, because he can preemptively toss out that needle, make the hitbox go bye-bye, and then immediately hit a fair, which is then the inherent 50-50 of, like, is he getting sour spot fair, where it sends you outward, or is he getting sweet spot fair, and then you're going down to the depths of hell where you belong. You don't know! Right? Anyway, good stock take from Newfie, able to starting to make his comeback here. Oh, unfortunate. Always hate to see the SDs, but it's part of what happens at this level. Dealing with turny nerves, dealing with just everything. Never. I think the biggest thing, and Newfie's doing a pretty good job of this. When you have an SD, don't let it get to you. Doesn't matter. That's the past. You lost the stock, whatever. You still got this stock to do shit, right? You still in the game till the game is over. And if you let things bug you too much, then you're never going to win no matter what. Even professionals make stupid mistakes like that. It happens. The key is to just get back from it, get back on that horse, and try again, and now you're just off in stuck in some place in Nevada, as you're a horseman off into this, and sadly there, Newfie, as you have been eliminated from the tournament. Really good to see from Fenico. I know Fenico's a really new player. I've seen them talk in the Sylvanas Discord, so it's good to see that some of our tips were able to help you. Sorry that I wasn't able to give you much specifically. The way that you learn and the way that I learn is a lot different. So hopefully that you're able to improve and continue from here. And Newfie, if you ever need any extra advice, I highly suggest dropping stuff in VOD review. People will be able to give you a wonderful look at of your gameplay and give you a bit more specific advice. You'll notice I didn't really give you anything too specific because I'm not great at Rano. I don't know how to play Rano. There's great people that play Rano here. Codecracker and Kroyo are the best examples. Highly suggest hitting them up. They love to help out the lower tier Ranos and to be able to start getting them to step up into the competition. Either way, we'll be moving on to the next set of Losers Round 2, which is the Cortex versus DGN 8 HE? I don't know how to pronounce her tag. Hopefully I'm not pronouncing it wrong this entire time, as I'm going to look for these sets. Do I have them? I do. Let's go. Okay. So we got Mr. Degenerate Aki. Feels weird to say that tag, but whatever. Aki and the Cortex. Right? Yeah, the Cortex. Hell yeah. Baller ass tag, to be honest. As we got an interesting matchup here of good old fucking my brain and eyes are failing me as I can't find Raster. We got Raster versus Edelis. Basically, this matchup is either person can one can 0 to death the other can 0 to death the other, or they can or one can just hit a raw move and kill Raster at like 20. That's just kind of Raster in general, though. Water is thy giver of life. As now we move into game 1 of this set. Starting on Forest Floor. Interesting choice here. I think it's pretty good starter for Raster as... Okay. That happened. I'm kind of still just, like, taking a second to notice that. Oh my god, almost got the cheese right off the top there. I think I could... assuming Aki had the choice in the stage here, yeah. The one thing I'll say, Cortex, I do not agree with getting armor that early a %, but the unfortunate DI, if you don't know how to survival DI Edelis up air, it is down. I know it feels like it should be in, I know it feels like it should be anything else, but it is down, as now we get the neutral B stock take there. Nice. But yeah, Edelis up air, DI down, he'll survive it a lot earlier. A lot of Edelists have told me that you can get the conversion out of it, but we don't care about him trying to get the conversion, we care about surviving it first. Worrying about the conversion is when you're a bit more comfortable with knowing, like, hey, I'm going to survive it if I DI this way, so I'm going to DI this way, and he's trying to get that. Oh my god, you're so good at those conversions. Let's go. Right, out of B, brother. Right, I can't do those. I don't know why. There's something about Raster neutral B that just does not work for me. Right, going for him again and again and again. Ooh, trying to get that. Highly suggest checking out some Edelis VODs to get a feel for the conversions you can do out of that. There is true conversions you can do out of side B that are really good. Once you get a feel for those, super good for you. Super good to just destroy people anytime you freeze them. I just saw neutral B in neutral. Is this the next? Is this like? Are you like Gax? I forget his name. Oh no, I forgot the Grax. Grax. Are you like Grax 0%? Oh my god. My brain's just turning off a little from this set. Oh! Ooh. I honestly thought he was going to die from that. Right. If you DI that a little wrong, it's rough! Okay. This is just neutral B and... Oh! Ugh. Not quite able to get the conversion and just... Ugh! Oh, you had a really good start to that set, Aki, but I think you got a bit too... You started to get a bit too... got a bit too caught up in trying to get the hits in afterwards. Like, you were ahead, and I've said it so many times this game now, but once you're ahead, why do you care what your opponent does? You are currently in the winning position. What you should be worrying about is punishing your opponent for making bad decisions because they're losing. You don't need to hit your opponent. You just need to punish your opponent, which I know sounds like the same thing, but it's not. You need to be looking for the fact that your opponent is not too happy. They're in a spot they don't want to be in the match, so you need to take advantage of that. Either way, moving to game 2, going to Truple. Interesting choice. I can see the idea with this though. I know a lot of Edelists don't like this stage. As I thought you were gonna SD there. Right. This is a spot you don't want to be against Edelis, especially when you were already at an advantage, you were hitting them, you made a mistake, now you've gone off stage. It's rough. For pairing, for parrying icicles, your best bet is to hear the noise. If you're not in a position where icicles will immediately come out, then you can visually react to it. Oh my god, that purpled. Look at that fat ass coming on down. Jeebus. One thing I'll say, it's working for you right now, but I'd be really cautious about getting ice at these lot lower percents. Especially against Raster, it will hurt you a lot more than help you. Oh my god, that was gross. Right? That is 2 early percent kills kind of coming out from the Cortex here. Able to make it look like game 1 was a completely different set of circumstances. Right? Oh, are we going to get the stock take? Not quite! Oh my... Ugh! Gross! Oh my god. Alright. That happened. That's a bit of the struggle of picking this stage. It's good for Raster for a similar reason, but you need to take advantage of it. And Aki, I can really see that you're frustrated. I can feel it in your gameplay. I can feel it watching you. And I think the biggest thing that I can suggest, and I might be wrong, you might be totally chill and you're just like, you're just got figured out by Cortex a little there. But I know from my own personal thing, you need to take a second. You need to like sit back, be like, okay, game 2, that wasn't good. I didn't play well game 2. So here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm not gonna just immediately press start. I'm not gonna get in the gamer stance and be like, oh, time to try harder. No. That's not gonna help you. You're gonna wanna grab some of the drink. You're gonna wanna take a deep breath. Take a break for a second. Take a drink. Which I suggest everybody has for tournaments regardless. Keeping water, keeping hydrated, stops headaches, gives you something to focus on, right? Take a second. You're like, okay, he's kind of beating my ass. What can I do about that? Well, that all depends on what's happening. In that one, it just came down to you were dropping combos at the wrong time, you got edge guarded, and then he punished you really well for those edge guardeds and for being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So, going into this game 3, and I don't think you probably didn't do this, so we'll see how the game 3 goes, but that's what I gotta say for it. I don't know if you're watching. I hope you are. If not, anybody else take that advice, because I think that's important to understand when going into tournaments. And we got the interesting turn up here. He decided to take a deep breath and expel rocks as he is playing Crag. Right? I'm always against characters, unless you're going back to, like, you were trying a new character, and then it's like, wow, I don't want to get kicked out of the tournament, so I'm going to go back to the character I main. That I can understand a little, but overall, I'm really against character switching. Not in the context of, like, oh, that's unfair for your opponent or anything silly like that. It's unfair for your development as a player. It doesn't help you. I think it's a lot better to take a loss on the chest as the same character and learn from it than it is to switch characters and have things potentially change in a way that, because even if you end up winning because of the character change, you're winning most likely because of your opponent's lack of understanding of the matchup and potentially how you play differently. You're not actually winning because you learned and started to improve against them. So you're kind of putting a halt on your growth in a way that's not going to help you move through. Obviously, if you're still trying to figure out who you want to main, that point's kind of moot. Like, I highly suggest then try all the characters in tournament. Get a feel for all of them. See which one feels better for you. Right? But if you've already kind of been like, yeah, Raster works for me, then stay on Raster. Either way, we're going to be going into this game. We're going to be going into this game 3. Big rock man on the big rock stage doing big rock things. Really good patience. I've noticed Cortex, you have a really good patience to just kind of sit there and stare at your opponent. You stare at their soul, you look at what they're going to do, and then you do it. And we almost got the really good downbeat kill there. Right? Crag looking out a little bit better, but I can see that you still got the nerves going there a little bit, HE, which might end up getting you killed. Right? Biggest thing about playing against Edelus that I think is important to recognize, sitting and playing grounded to be ready to up B there. Be ready to to punish people for landing on your pillar. I thought he was going to jump into that. But the biggest thing about playing into ice is and I'm bad for this. I do it all the time. don't be jump happy. Don't be trying to like engage into Edelus. You know that he's going to want to hit icicles, especially if he's got no ice down. So you need to stay grounded. You need to take that second and be like, are you going to icicles? And then if he does something and doesn't commit to icicles, then you can hit him. Because if you hit him early enough in icicles, they disappear. They're gone. The weather system has disappeared, and the stock has disappeared as well for good old HE. Oh my god, rock throw. But yeah, as I was saying, staying grounded and staying calm is the best way to deal with icicles. Because if you're able to do that, then you can start parrying them and start reacting more to what Edelus does. Because the only quick option Edelus has in the air is Bear, Nair, and that's it for his aerial options. Hey, what's up, Charcoal? Just helping the Amy boys and girls learn some things. But either way, right, you can then react to what he's doing, because the only disjoint he has is on Bear. So you're not scared of him hitting you from far away. You're scared of him hitting you for being too close to you, which if he's too close to you, he can't use icicles. So then you can press a button and deal with it. Obviously, this is oversimplified. There's a lot more nuances to neutral and whatnot, but it's a basic game plan to give you a start as the as the prostate exam is able to finally take that stock. Cortex finally starting to... You finally got your groove back a little bit here, Aki. But DIing that is kind of hard. My best tip for DIing Edelus forward smash is doing no DI, like straight up you let go of your stick from the controller. Don't literally do that though, just lift your thumb up, please. And then after you get hit, you immediately start, then you hold hard out and immediately start doing what's known as drift, which if you don't know, one thing that's unique to Rivals is that you have a lot of control over where you move while you're in hit stun. So even though, and the unfortunate SD coming out from Aki to finally end that stat. But yeah, after the hit, when you're still in hit stun, you can affect where you go a lot too. You can affect the angle of where you're going. So the biggest thing to learn is that when you get hit by certain moves, the best way to survive is sometimes to not DI it and then immediately drift it based on, oh hey, I want to go to the farthest place on the screen. When you're going up on the screen, the farthest place is the corner. So if you're able to push out towards the corner, then you're more likely to survive because it makes the angle go from straight to a curve. But if you DI it out, it will make it go like this, and you will die off the side, and you will be sad. Edelus S-Smash is a really unique angle. There's not many moves that have a similar angle, so it's really hard to get used to, and it plays against your habit of wanting to DI up and in, which is what most S-Smashes you want to do against. Oh, 100% as well. I'm just trying to give a full, like Charcoal said here, don't worry yourself about it though. Like, I'm providing the information so you're aware of it. I'm very much so of the opinion that even if you can't take advantage of the information now, being aware of it allows you to then, once you do start having to learn it, when you're at that level where it helps you a bit more, then you're kind of a step ahead of yourself and you're able to get it a bit quicker and get a feel for it. Right? There's going to be a lot of things that I talk about where if you're not able to apply it right away, perfectly fine. Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. I just kind of go off on tangents when I'm teaching things, and it works really well. I think you just missed the set then, Mr. Flarglestaff? Which one are you? Are you the Cortex or are you Aki? Or He? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't know how to pronounce weird CH stuff. Anyway, that is the Losers Round 2, number 2 set. Finally done, as now we'll be moving into Losers Round 3, because of the fact I started on Winners quarterfinals. Right, and the first match that we got is Slushy versus Fenico. One's a new Sylph player that I've seen around. You might have seen them talking in the Discord there, Charcoal. And the other is a long-standing amateur player. This is their second time getting into top 8, and they were able to snag a couple of good wins on the way up here, so really happy for them. As now we'll be moving into this set. I need to double-check where they're placed. Yeah, that's the ones that we watched. And and I need to download those games. Do I have the other game that I want to watch? I do not. Okay. So I have to download a couple, so just give me half a second to do that. I have to go in, I have to delete these old matches because we've watched them all. And now we'll be going into, I need to go to the Google Doc, which means I need to open up my thing. I'm not going to show you that because I have way too many tabs open and it's kind of embarrassing. Okay, so I have that. I need to download Losers Round 3. Did I have that downloaded? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Download that. We're going to open that up. We're going to toss that baby over here. Bam. Done. Alright. What are other sets we need? We need that set too. We're going to download that baby. Just to say, I can't see chat right now, so I'm sorry if you're saying something. What? Why can't I open that? Damn it. When peeps send me things, please don't send it in files other than just like zip compressed files. RAR or .7 I can't open because I don't feel like downloading the... Actually, yeah, I can't open them. I forgot that I do have it downloaded, but I don't like having to open them that way. It's annoying. I prefer to just be able to open it. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. Alright. There's those games. What else do I need to download? That's way further on. But I'll download those now. Alright. Download those. Toss those in there. I need to download that one. And I accidentally opened up FL Studio. That's not what I wanted to do. That goes there. Is this the one I'm looking for? I believe this is it. And there's another one that I can't open. Oh, I already had that one. No. What? What? This... Sorry, but the way they named this file, this is totally Losers Round 3, Fenico versus Slushy, and not a torrent of chips starring Michael Pena and Dax Shepard. Okay. Oh, I appreciate y'all. Come on. Where's the file? I'm so confused. Sorry, I'm just struggling to get this last file figured out. It's not wanting to extract where I want it to. Can we just open, please? There we go. And that's the wrong one. I want to go to this one. And we're just going to drop these over here. There we go. Okay, finally got it. 7-zip is a pain in the ass to use. I prefer being able to use the Windows default stuff. Anyway. Okay. Where's the matches I'm looking for? Aha! There they are. Alrighty. So now, we got good old Ori coming in on the side of Slushy, and Fenico playing Good old Sylvanos. I have 7-zip installed, it's just it doesn't work as well as the... Like, if I can just do regular zip files, Windows 10 has zip thing automatically as part of its Windows Explorer, which is really nice to work with and is really solid and quick because I have an SSD as well. Yes, that was your name, Slushy. I've already done one of your sets and I'm lucky to do a second one. I've been praising the fact that you've been getting higher in the bracket. Let's go. Right, proud of you. Right, I'm seeing your improvement. I'm seeing you. I had some good tips for you earlier, so I highly suggest looking back on those sets. And he's not playing Edelus. He is playing Sylvanos. Alrighty. So now, we'll be going into game one of this good old set of Fenico versus Slushy on good old Forest Floor. I think this is a pretty good starter for both characters. There's nothing like that particularly makes it better. They both get benefits, like Sylv gets the space that he wants, but Ori also gets the bigger space that she wants to be able to do more things. So it just comes down to, like, kind of player preference from there. Good combos coming up, hitting that side B. Not quite reacting to the fact that Sylv's moving above you. Alrighty. And I accidentally minimized my game. I didn't want to do that. Ooh, I see you trying to get those tech reads. Right. The biggest things that you want to do as Ori in this matchup is either you want to be in Sylv's face or you want to be just outside of his range. Because if you're just in his face, he has nothing that can beat you. You have a frame 2, 3? I should remember that. Either way, you have a really good jab and you have really good frame data overall that Sylv can't do anything from your close. Got caught by the down smash there. Unfortunate DI due to that. But either way, right, so either you want to be really close to Sylv or just outside of his range because Sylv has enough end lag that when he misses something, or he has the speed that she could just come in and hit him. Yeah, exactly. The mental game is the big thing there, right? And as I've said before, the one thing I want to see you start doing, Slushy, I said it a bit during our other games, unfortunately, is I want you to start using Sign more. Sign is a really good tool, and it defines Ori neutral really well, and I think it's the kind of last little thing that you need to kind of clean up your gameplay a little, and I think you'll see yourself possibly getting into Inter and maybe higher if you start taking advantage of that. Obviously, easier said than done. I'm not saying I'm not an Ori player, and the few times I played Ori, I basically pretended I'm only playing Ori, not Ori and Sign. So I'm not saying it's easy. Yep, and I think a good project to have this week is while you're playing is kind of sit in training room, get a feel for using Sign, and then start trying to use them in games more. Right. Either way, pretty good from Fenico here. They had a bit of a rest start from the start, but now they're kind of getting a feel for what you're doing and able to start punishing you a bit more for it. Right, and unfortunate SD accidentally holding that side B too long as Fenico is able to take game 1 on Forest Floor. Right, as now we'll be moving into game 2 on Trupel. This is my favorite Sylv stage. I love this stage. I still, a lot of people don't like it as Sylv. Yeah, 100%. That's got, ooh. Unfortunate SD, I've done that one so many times, you would not believe how many times I have accidentally been trying to neutral B and just kind of fall over the edge. And yeah, if you're not reading chat, Fenico, when you're watching this potentially later, highly suggest looking at the chat and seeing what Charcoal Lion had to say. I shall say it out loud, just so you know. My advice for the Sylv, be a little bit more patient about those smash attacks. Howl down strong only works if you're willing to let them fall for a bit, which is very true and very important to recognize. Right? Howl is a really good tool, but it's one of those things where you need to get a feel for when to use it properly, because if you use it at the wrong times, then it's a free parry, or they just press that down button, they crouch cancel it, and you're kind of struggling. I think this this is still. I think this is still a fine. If you don't know Slushy, I'm of the opinion that most stage picks are completely personal preference. I think this is a fine Ori stage, especially into this matchup. I'm just speaking from, and I know a lot of stills really don't care for Troop Roll. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's really, the biggest benefit I like for it for Sylve is it allows you to mix up your recovery a bit better than Spirit Tree would, because you're able to go to even at middle plat, and you're not as scared about being whacked off the side. I could go into more, but either way, focus should be what's currently going on in this match. Fenico has been doing a really good job sharking you when you're trying to land, which I don't have great advice for that, to be honest. It's just kind of knowing, kind of getting a feel for where Sylve's going and where he's trying to hit you, and then drifting away from that so he has a lot more trouble hitting his conversions. Otherwise, Ori's only really great landing option is Dare, and you don't want to be using that too much because then you're stuck in just exactly like that. You're stuck in M-lag on the ground, and then you get punished for it. Fair circle. Right. I just like to edge cancel a lot, which is kind of the tough-running part of my recovery. Right. Fenico able to finally get back, sitting at a 35% deficit. Especially against Sylve, the one thing I'll say, Slushy, when you have that invulnerability, take a guess at where Sylve's going, immediately move there. He can't hit you. You're invincible. So if you're able to punish him for not moving immediately away from you and being away from you, you're able to punish and get percent a lot quicker. Right? Ooh, really good conversion into the seed there. Right? Not quite able to get the bear. I see you really like to go for those multi-dare conversions. I think once you hit the second dare, I think you want to look more for a conversion out of the dare, because dare doesn't give you a 10% and you can't end up killing someone with it. So if you're able to do like nair or back air, then that can be really good. Alrighty, so now we'll be moving into the third game of this set. Going to see if Slushy is able to make the comeback here or not. Tournament set for Slushy coming out. Yeah, big time. Grass is one of the riskiest things to stand on while you're sitting, holding a move, because if you don't know, Sylve can hold neutral B while he comes up and do a chomp, which is as powerful as most smash attacks. It's basically a fourth smash attack for Sylve, and probably his most reliable one, to be honest. Especially if you ask Charcoal, he uses it really well during games. The best thing to cover Sylve recovery is, the biggest things to note is he can land on the stage, and he can do that with a little bit of lag, but if he has to burrow, that's your best options for punishment. Going down into the entire kind of covering Sylve coverage tree is hard because it depends on each Sylve to a degree, and he has a lot of options, a lot more than most people think. So I don't think there's any like tried and true way that you can just like easily edgeguard him unless you're Orcane and can press neutral B and down B. So I think getting a feel for edgeguarding Sylve is just recognizing what tools he has available. I highly suggest either joining the Sylve Court and kind of talking to people there, or just messaging me or like anybody that plays Sylve and being like, yo, what does Sylve do? And any reasonable person will give you advice and stuff about it, because I think the biggest thing with fighting games is like there is the minor benefit to like leaving opponents without knowledge if they ask something, but it's like, can you really say you're the better player if you are purposely withholding information from people, is the way I've looked at it. So I think most people are pretty open with giving out information. Oh yeah, and especially with conversions like Rot Drop, able to come out to confirm it. Oh, so good. I love Rot Drop. I wish I could hit it more. It's the surprise comes in the fact that you did it every time. That's where the surprise comes in. Either way, game 3, Blazing Hideout. Sylve's on fire, but he don't care, as this is another interesting stage choice. Again, I can't really say on what stages Ori's prefer. I'd highly suggest hitting up some of the Ori players, as I mentioned. Yeah, the no mix-up, hell yeah. If you DP out of disadvantage every time, who can expect it? Right. One thing I'm noticing, Fenico, is you're in that weird bubble of being patient in a way that's good for edge guards, but just a little too patient that your follow-up to the edge guard isn't able to come out. So I think once you get a bit more comfortable with, like, noticing, like, hey, if I jump fair here, it's going to hit him. So now I can jump fair again, and then I can get a conversion out of that. Right. Yeah, and I perfectly get that. You'll figure out your stage preferences with time. I have a bit more, when I started playing, I already had a bit more of a feel of what, like, stages I kind of liked already, because I played, the hold to cover the, missed fair there. I already had kind of a feel of what stages I already liked, so learning stage picks for this game wasn't really that hard for me. But this is your first platform fighter, right, Slushy? So you still got to get a feel for all that, because it's something that's, like, really unique to a big part of what's unique to platform fighters to other fighters, where, like, there's this dynamic to stage picking that doesn't exist. So and stage picking is just such a weird thing. Like, everybody has a different feel for it. Like, I'm very much so, like, yeah, it's completely personal preference, right? There is, like, certain advantages and disadvantages that I think are important to learn as a character. Yeah, and I highly suggest looking at Charcoal. He is spitting facts and fire right now, able to add into my stuff. Hey, next time, Charcoal, do you want to join me on commentary? I think it'd be good to have someone to bounce off of. I don't know if you feel confident on that or not, though. Almost. That's... Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. You are straight correct there, Mr. Charcoal. Right. Really good conversions coming out from you here, Fenico. Once you get a bit more feel for what you can do out of certain moves at certain times, like when you hit that double fair off the side there, you could have, instead of doing another fair, you could have up aired, which would have been able to get you to take the stock. That's just something you get a feel for with... I know you don't learn by feel, but that's something you do get a feel for with time. I wish I knew a way to teach people that don't learn kinesthetically. I'm just so used to that being the norm for fighting games, because that's generally the type of people that get attracted to them, that I just don't know what to say for that. Oh, hey, yeah, hell yeah. Nice. All my commentary knowledge is just from school mostly, and the league stuff I used to do in the past. So it'd be nice to have someone a bit more experience in commentary coming in. Right, I struggle a bit when I'm just by myself, because it's hard to stop yourself from going on a certain tangent, and sometimes you end up focusing on the wrong thing without realizing it. And unfortunately, I able to take that final stock as Fenico moves on, and Slushy is unfortunately knocked out. Really good run from you overall, though, Slushy. I'm seeing your improvements, right? I know, and that's a struggle with, like, when I'm giving the VOD reviews here, because, like, it feels like, especially when I focus on something specific, that I'm being really negative and, like, that you're a terrible player or something silly like that. But it's not. I focus on giving people what they need to know for their improvement, and I try to give you guys what you need when you do something good, and sometimes you're just only hitting little conversions. I don't really, like, I can't really hype up as much, so I don't want to, like, because I don't want to baby you guys too much, is effectively what it is. Like, there's a little, like, obviously this commentary is a baby. Like, I'm going to say that straight up. I'm babying the hell of you guys. But I don't want to do it too much to the level that you don't see what mistakes you're making to be able to improve. Bit of trial by fire. Yeah, exactly. Right? So, really good set either way, as now we move into the next set of losers round 3, which is going to be Samsung 27 versus the Cortex. Like I said earlier, fucking love that tag. It's got just such a boom to it. The Cortex. Right, and let me see. Do I have it there? That's game 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got him. Okie dokes. So, what side are y'all on? Okay, Samsung is on the left side. Samsung 27 versus the Cortex. The good old Edelus King. The boom, the bang, the big da bop. Alright. And this is going to be Absa versus Edelus. At a higher level of play, this is a really hard matchup for Edelus because as Sorois, I think it is, that said it, Absa pushes a cloud into the middle of the stage and just waits. And then Edelus just cries. But at this level of play, it's not quite that level of difference because a big part of Edelus is he forces you to react to his stuff really well. Yep, and as I will always say, try to take a look at what Charcoal Lion's saying on the side there, because he is spitting only facts and no fiction. As we move into game one of the set, starting on Forest Floor, really good stage for both, and taking advantage of your parry habit right from the start. Gotta be careful about using parry in neutral. Caught him being a bit more aggressive with it there, but I think one thing I think that's really good to get used to, Cortex, is to both learn to play without ice and learn to place ice in ways without icicle. F-Pill is a really good way to do it, and so is your up B. So I think starting to mix up your gameplay a little bit more, you'll be able to allow yourself not to get parried. Obviously, in this set so far, other than the first parry, Samsung's not really taking advantage of it. Ooh, good conversion there. Samsung's not taking as much advantage of it, but I think you're leaving yourself very open. Good recovery mix-up there, and the just barely able to survive, and actually not up-being. Probably wasn't expecting to survive after the icicle hit there, expecting the conversion. Right, good parry. Almost got the good conversion out of it. Like I said earlier, Samsung, I think you just need to practice a little bit more on where you expect people to go, because I feel like you're trying to like wait and react versus starting to kind of have an idea of where people are going. Because, ooh, I saw you get that early kill with it before, you got it again. Nasty, bro. Nasty. That's what you gotta look for. Gotta look to... The biggest thing that I notice a lot of lower level players don't do is they don't look for those early stocks, but you are looking for them, and I can appreciate that. Right? Right? That's what I like to see. You see those opportunities, and it's good. Good. Exactly. That is a great tip, Charcoal. I was mentioning that before when I was talking about Ember's set, where he had some issues with recovering, and I was talking about it mainly in the context of being confident in your recoveries, so then if you're in a situation where your nerves are kind of shot, you still feel comfortable at least getting back to stage, so you don't make mistakes that end up getting you to just lose your stock. And that is another great example of why it's important to learn to be confident in your recovery, because then you can start doing some crazier stuff off stage. You can start feeling confident and jumping off and being like, yeah, if I fuck this up, I'm still getting back. I'm going to be fine as long as they don't do something crazy back to me. Right? So it's important to... And I think that's technically, like, obviously you want to be comfortable in all levels of your gameplay, but you need to recognize why you want to be confident in something for more than just the benefit of, oh, I can do it under tournament stress. It's also the fact that you can use that confidence to then improve your gameplay more. Like, if you feel confident in your, like the example that Charcoal gave, where if you feel confident in your recovery, then you can feel confident in jumping up the stage and edge guarding. Which then also adds in, if you feel comfortable with your combo conversions, then you can feel comfortable going for crazier stuff with them, instead of just doing bread and butter over and over and over again. Right? You can start looking for those like, oh hey, they DI'd slightly wrong there, now I'm going to do something crazy. Either way, good set one from coming out from these two. Really great comeback on that, Cortex. You kind of had a bit of a rough start, but then you saw those opportunities to take those really early stocks, which really helped you out. I noticed that you were doing that in, like I said, talking a little too much without drinking or breathing. Right? Really appreciate a player that looks for those early stocks. I think it's something that, like I said earlier, lower level players struggle with, but if you're able to do it, super good. Right? Great way to get those like sneaky kills that you typically normally wouldn't get, and have to have like 4 to 5, maybe even 7 more neutral interactions before you're able to get it. Alrighty. Now, moving into game 2 of the set, as Cortex has taken game 1 in a pretty good fashion. It's going to be interesting if Samsung is able to adjust and get into it as we moved into Spirit Tree. Really good stage for both characters for very different reasons. Well, both of it's for the similar reason that both like to kill off the top. Etalus F Smash. Oh, unfortunate SD. It happens. Etalus fair, Etalus side B off stage. Really easy ways to just lose your stock by accident when trying to do the proper thing, which is both up B and potentially you fair because you're trying to do wave dash F tilt. I know Akko has and Air have talked about doing that a lot. Really good parry coming out there, recognizing that you're starting to use ice a bit more. The only thing I'm really noticing, one of the things I'm really noticing about your play, Cortex, is you don't seem comfortable getting conversions out of freezing people, and I think you need to. If you watch some really good Edaluses play, like Baggles has some really older sets that are good. Akko's really good for watching his conversions. Menace also has some really good. He is the king of getting stuff out of ice and kind of defines a lot of Edalus conversions in general. He literally has kill confirm named after himself. Highly suggest watching those and getting a feel for what they do, because if you're able to start taking advantage of that, then you can start getting like basically guaranteed stocks off of a good freeze and not just having to rely on good confirms like up tilt up air. Oh, are we gonna see the bear? Oh, I thought we were gonna see the bear cheese. Right, but overall good gameplay coming out from the two of you. You really made a good comeback from the SD. And that's kind of... I can see that you didn't take the SD hard at all, which is a really important thing to do. It's something I always talk about before, because it's like, if you allow things that you mess up to get too much to you, then it makes your gameplay a lot harder, because you make one mistake and then you make more because now you're all frustrated. So if you're able to keep yourself calm, which is easier said than done, you're able to play a lot better. And that's why that's a good Etalus stage, because DIing that move is hard. I shall repeat it again for people that don't know. Not DIing, and then not DIing is the best way to survive, and then you can drift out afterwards, which I have a full breakdown of drift earlier. I'm not going to go over it again because it's a lot of words, and I'm starting to run out of time. Alright, game 2 going to the Cortex. Going to see at what stage they go on for game 3. See if we pick another smaller stage here, and we won't be, as we go to Frozen Fortress. Edalus's home stage, but not a good Edalus stage. His ice coverage is kind of bad on it, and I know the layout of the stage isn't great for what he wants to do. So most Edalus don't really look at them. But yeah, and also, especially for Akko and Menace, they are really open about talking about Ice Bear things in general. I highly suggest hitting up Menace for some tips. He is in the Academy Discord, and then he'll be good. Because it is Losers Round 3. This is Samsung 27 versus Cortex, which is Losers Round 3. That's how it's Losers Round 3. Right. I'm a bit better at keeping track of it when I don't have to do a paper bracket. If you do check the bracket, make sure not to give any spoilers. It's not as big of a deal for Amy bracket because this is more of a VOD review regardless. I'm not really as much about hyping up the matches because I'm more about like, hey, here's how you can improve. But still like to keep that little bit of mystery about what's going to happen. Right? Oh, another thing that I wanted to point out to you, Cortex. This was a good time to get armor. I agree fully with this time to get armor. But I notice you like to get armor at really early percents sometimes, which you have to be very careful about how you do that, because sometimes, if you don't know, you lose armor when you take 40%, and when you're at a low percent and you take armor, then you give someone a lot easier way of you to combo you, and then they get you up to that increased up to 40%, and then they can just hit a kill confirm on you, and just, you're dead. So be careful about when you get armor. Thank you very much, Charcoal. I talked about crouch canceling a couple times, and that's a really good breakdown of it for those that prefer to read it. Basically, anytime you see Charcoal spit any facts, you gotta listen to him. Ooh. That bear was so good. Great timing on that. That is... If you know Edelus has no air dodge, and you get a feel for how fast he is based on how long he's... Yeah, I feel that. Just try to be careful with it, because it's going to be one of those things where it might work at this lower level, but I think it's a bad habit to have to get into the higher levels, so... Oh! I thought they were gonna die. That was almost so gross. Right. Sorry, I lost myself a little there. Right, going to be... Oh, this set's so close. I say this is Eden right now because of how Edelus armor works. Right. The biggest thing when trying to catch people's... Oh! Oh, almost ran into that. Oh, and... I'm just on edge. Watching sets like this is always so, stressful sometimes, and the unfortunate DI down B is so hard. It's basically like a guess. It's partially on what side you're on Edelus, and then you want to DI out based on that side, but it's so hard to react to what side you're on that it's hard to deal with. Really good set coming out from the two of these. The Cortex able to take the set 3-0. Oh, 100%. At really low percents, it's good because it lowers hit stun enough that then you can do stuff. I respect that energy. That is what I expect out of the name, the Cortex. All right. But yeah, it can be good because some characters' combo game has too low hit stun, and it creates the unique for Rivals experience where you are negative on hit, which very rarely happens, and Edelus and Krag are the only times that can really happen with Krag side B and Edelus armor. So it can be a really good way to deal with characters that typically have low hitback moves at lower percents. I can't really give you a definitive list on what characters that is, but if you're able to take advantage of it, so good. So good. Right? You can punish people for hitting you, and it's such a good tool because that typically does not happen in Rivals compared to other platform fighters. Either way, we're going to be moving on to Losers Round 4. Do I want to move on to... Yeah, okay. We're going to be moving on to Losers Round 4, or Losers Semifinals, as it'll be the Cortex against Fenico. Going to be interesting to see how this match goes, as I shall quickly look for it to see what side people are on. That is it right there. All right. So we're going to do the big Swapperoonie, and Fenico is playing Sylvanos. Let's go. Alrighty. And you haven't won any games yet in this set. Okay. Game 1, Merchant Port. Seems to be one that Fenico likes to go. I respect that energy. I like Merchant Port as a starter. I think Jules Vale is the best neutral starter, especially in various matchups. But that's beside the point, as we get some good combos starting out from both sides. Able to get a good amount of percent, right? Whew. I am starting to lose my thought process. It's getting later for me. Fair armor is so good. Right? Not quite able to get the conversion out there. Sylv, I think, is one of those characters that you want to be really careful about getting armor with. I think Sylv is one of the characters that takes advantage of armor almost the best. Outside of occasions where you're able to use super armor to prevent his stuff from hitting properly. Ooh, good parry from Fenico. If you don't know, the DI for that is up and in based on what side of Sylv you're on. Because you're on the right side of Sylv, it would be up and in to the right direction. If you're on the left side of Sylv, it'd be up and in on the left side. Right. Always like to... Oh! Oh! Falcon Punch! I've seen you. I've seen you. I'm loving the Etalus players we're getting here. You guys are swag, bro. I love it. I appreciate it. You just gotta do things. And I respect that energy. Right? I think that's something that a lot of newer players can learn from. Is sometimes, like, there is the worry about, like, doing things properly and all that. But ultimately, the only way you're gonna learn is if you just do things. Get hit. Figure out what the hell's going on. See what works. See what doesn't. And then you can figure out shit from there. And it's great. Yeah, I get that. Right, it just kind of depends on your focus. I'm generally I take a lot of inspiration from Flary for how I play. So I'm generally like, I'm trying to look for that hype combo shit. Right? For those that don't know, the way Etalus Freeze works, you do not mash. Oh, I know what you're going for there, Fenico. No, you didn't jump. I feel that. I've done that so many times. But to go back to Etalus Ice, if you get frozen, the way it works is you have a couple of seconds, you have a couple of frames to put in what you're going to do out of it, and then once the ice starts to crack, whatever you put in for it is automatically kind of buffered into it. You do not have to mash for it. This is not Smash Ultimate. There is no mashing. Right? Ooh, good coverage there. So, your options out of it is it always will tech. If you don't press a button, you will do a neutral tech. If you hold out, you will do a tech to that side. If you hold the other side, you'll do a tech to that side. Some of the best options that you can do to it, especially at a lower level against Etalus, is to do no tech parry. And you can also get up smashed because you just slightly miss a fair. As good old The Cortex takes game 1, as now we'll be moving into game 2 of this set. Alrighty. Going to be going to Ethereal Gates. Pretty neutral stage. A bit better for Sylve, I'd say, in this matchup, just because of Ice. Why do you just stand there at the start, Cortex? Are you, like, not ready for the game to start? Or are you just like, oh! Oh! Don't matter. You hit that. Oh. I'll say it again, and I've said it a couple times. That was gross! You've done that so many... Ugh. I love how you're able to go for those. Right? Right? I think that's... And I'll say it, I'll keep saying it. Just be willing to go for... You know something's going to kill, just be willing to go for it. Worst case, you miss it, and you learn how to do that. Yeah, fair. Etalus with armor is just like... It's got... You know that the person is just like, yes, I am in my comfort zone, and I am taking advantage of that. And good conversion from Fenico there, noticing that you were kind of sliding across the platform there. Maybe not being willing or able to tech. Trying to get the Howl there, not quite able to get it as he took out the flower with the perfect timing. Interesting up air, and unfortunate you weren't ready. I feel that. Nope. Oh. One thing I want to point out with that interaction, you accidentally wall jumped there, and if your opponent was able to recognize that, that's scary. And as anybody that's trying to edgeguard, the biggest part about edgeguarding is keeping track of your opponent's resources. You need to notice that, hey, they use their double jump. Hey, they use their wall jump. Hey, they use their wall jump. Their air dodge. If you're able to recognize these things and then take advantage of it, then, such a good set of sharking there into accidentally getting downbeat just because you just slightly missed the conversion, which is a threat you have to worry about against Etalus. If you notice that Etalus is a bit more wanting to do that, like, and same thing with Ori, where if they're willing to downbeat or dare a lot, then your best option is typically to just, like, jump up, do an empty hop upwards, and then an empty hop is literally just jumping and then not pressing a button. You jump up and then you wave land back down, and then you just wait. And then they land in front of you, with lag, you hit them up. Either way, we'll be going into the second set of this game. Sorry, not second set, the third game of this set. That is the English that I am looking for at this moment. As we go back to Ethereal Gates, Fenneco obviously feeling confidence in it, feeling that the problems were more had to deal with those early stocks versus anything else. Able to already get some good conversions out of it. I see that parry timing, just didn't have quite the parry. I see. English is failing me. It's starting to get too late. That's the one thing that sucks about the Aerie stream. I wish I could do it tomorrow for you all, so it works at a better time. But sadly, I got work, and I generally work late that night, so it won't change anything for me. And then I have something on Tuesday. All right. Unfortunate, but at least I get to be with you all. You have the matches fresh in your brain, and then I'm able to commentate them right away. It gets wackier from here. Okay. I am looking to see that. Ooh, good DI. That is pretty much perfect DI there. Well, drift and DI. Ooh, almost able to get the parry there. I think the biggest tip for this level of play is don't try to parry. Parrying stuff, that's going to be big time. Fully agree with that. Oh, unfortunate timing. But as I was saying earlier, don't try to over-rely on parry, because parrying is having confidence in knowing both the character's timing and frame on their move, and also knowing when your opponent's going to hit you. Which, that confidence is something that you're gonna... Yeah, exactly. Parry sucks, right? You whiff it, you get... And parry relies so much on betting that the person's going to be playing at the same tempo they were before. And if you're wrong on that bet, you get punished so hard. The best thing that you can do for like 90% of the moves in this game is literally just move out of the way. And if you can focus, because that also... Ooh, great up B, neutral B kill. Love Seed off the top. But yeah, if you're able to focus more on whiff punishing and using your movement to be able to punish people for missing moves instead of just trying to straight up parry them, then you'll be noticing that both it helps your, not just your punish, but it helps your neutral a lot too, because you're not relying on just betting your entire stock on a single button instead of being able to move and take advantage of it in different ways. Exactly. Right? And the only way that you're gonna... Like, obviously, game 3 of a best-of-5 set, I think you're starting to get a feel of your opponent, but good players are able to recognize that you're starting to get a feel for them, and then take advantage of that. Oh, great hold! Just barely surviving that. Sylve's weight coming in is a major factor there to be able to barely survive that. Oh my... Oh! So much stuff so close to killing. And there it is, finally able to take the set. Losers round 4, or losers semifinals, finally go, and I accidentally had losers round 3 set on that. Whoopsie! But, yeah. Losers round 3 going to Cortex, as now we move into losers round 5, or losers finals, which I'm going to put in this time, of the Cortex versus Big Dumb Waifu. As I'm going to put his thing in there, and I know this man plays Zetterburn. Zetterburn is a great character, one I wish I could play, but I like Sylve way too much. I like my Forest Boy. Alrighty. And just as a note to the person who played this set that's watching the game, don't try to give spoilers. We will see the game as it comes across. And I just need to make sure I have these games. Where is this it? No. Do I not have them downloaded? Darn, I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't. Okay. I'm gonna have to grab the sets real quick. Alright. that one. That's that one. That's that one. I don't think you guys uploaded this set. Okay. Cortex, are you still in here? Can you please upload your set real quick? If I have to skip your set, I'm gonna be going right into grand finals, and I'm not going back after grand finals, so I'd rather be able to do your set. I'll ping you both in the Discord to do that, and I will use this chance to take a small bathroom break, actually. At the Cortex. I'll just ping big dumb ping upload There we go. Alright. So I'm gonna take a small bathroom break while we figure that out. I'll be right back. Big Dumb Waifu should get it if he's not on. I'll be back in a sec to do that. Big Dumb. That's an unfortunate way that you can shorten his name. I shall be right back. Alrighty. And I am back. Gamers are in fact gaming. Hell yeah. Them gamers gonna game, gamer. And Discord. Sorry, I'm just confused by something someone's saying. Still don't have losers round 5 here. Still waiting for this game. And I think that's waiting long enough. I don't really want to hold this stream up much longer, and I need to find the Discord. I have way too many Discords. Oh, awesome. Thank you. I might also be dumb and completely missed it. That is completely possible, so I'm sorry if you did actually upload it and I just didn't realize it. Oh, what? I have changed nothing. It shouldn't be that quiet. Yeah, I got it now. Where the hell is the replays? Ah, damn. 1 second, I need to open up Ren again. Bam! Alright, there we go. Yeah, you don't have to put the biggest thing I'll say is you just have to put the, like, round number in your names, or even just your names will work fine. The only issue when just names is, the only time just names is an issue is if you end up playing, like, against each other at the same time, which only really happens in grand finals, so I can guess by, like, oh, hey, this is this early or whatever. So, generally, otherwise, just putting, like, the round number, like, losers round 2, losers round 3, blah, 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 will work best. Because the way that those docs work is they get automatically cleansed after a little bit, so it's not like we don't really keep the replays, we just keep the VODs, which we will be uploading to YouTube afterwards. I've been bad and I haven't been doing that. Will be uploading this VOD to YouTube. I just forgot that we did that, to be honest. I'm still a bit dumb to do that. Who's to say waifu did the big dumb? Nice. Okay. Hey, there's the games. Let's go. Okay. So, Big Dumb Waifu versus Cortex. We gotta switch their spots because they're in the different order. Alrighty. Zetterburn versus Icy Boy. Who wins? Fire versus Ice. I could make the Pokemon joke, but I'm not going to. As we come into this first game, both getting hit by the other side B, the fire damage, able to quite make it even, as I realize that I am bright as fuck. Sorry, that break kind of made me lose my mojo a little. Okay, that happened. Unfortunate, but you got the percent, so it was worth it. Right? I see the plan there. I see you trying to get that parry in. I think the best part, like the aggression, just not able to quite get the sweet spot there, but really like the idea behind what you were doing there. And it's something we were discussing earlier about having the confidence in recovery to be able to have the confidence in doing edge guards, which I can see that you do feel that confidence. Woo! And there is I've seen you get that before. Really good weight when you notice that they're DIing in on that. Really appreciate that. Right? Something that a lot of players need to learn, and something that's good to recognize. Ooh! Good down air. Risky to go for. Because just to say, if you don't know, Edelus up B does have a spike to it. So you have to be a little bit careful about engaging him from below, but he also has no hitbox until he lets go. So it's entirely on the Edelus to know when to let it go and whatnot. Right, grabbing him with those kitty paws and not quite able to get a conversion out of it. Oh, the unfortunate DI. I've done that one so many times because you see yourself move, so you DI the other direction. You DI thinking that you're going to get sent that direction, and then you just get sent the complete other way, and it feels bad. I was told to turn my mic down based on looking at my mic, just on what you were saying earlier, Marcel. I also might not be talking into very well. It is a directional mic. I should technically have it in front of me, but I don't have a proper mic stand currently, at least one that can hold that mic. So I just currently have a custom one that I made, right? This little doohickey right here. So, cut. Quite true, waifu. It's one of those moves that when you're late at night playing a tournament and it's just like, man, please. And it comes out frame 7. No. Frame 8? Where's the frame 7? Yep. And especially as Zetter, anytime that you can hit one of your smash attacks, You can probably hit Shine, and if you can hit Shine, the world is yours. You get to do whatever the fuck you want to that person. Excuse my French. I am talking about seals, because Edalist puns. Dash dancing, but gotta be ready to stop the dash dance to get the parry. Oh. Okay. That was a weird parry. He, like, jabbed as that parried, so he finished the jab before the parry finished, but I don't even know fully how to explain that one. I very much so disagree with this stage pick. Oh, unfortunate. That is a moment. Yep. The only time that a smash attack is guaranteed, especially as Zedburn, the best option out of parry, if they're anywhere close to kill percent, is Shine Up Strong. Obviously, you have to learn how to do that. That is a harder confirm to learn, but if you're able to get it down, then you're able to get stocks really early. Ooh! You were at 0% and I still expected you to die because of how high that is. Ugh. Right? One of the biggest things against Edalist is hesitate when pressing buttons when you know he's side B happy. Because if you're not committed to the frames of doing an action, then you're able to parry icicles, which then means you get to hit them really well and really hard, which is very important against a big body like that. Oh! I respect that. So close. 100%. The only problem with Bear Up Strong is it gives them a chance to DI, but exactly. The ease of it makes it more consistent, allows you to go for it, and it will be a good consistent kill confirm at this level. But once people start looking out for that, that's when you can focus on learning Shine Up Strong, but that can wait. There is many more things that you can focus on learning. And another 2-stock coming out from Big Dumb Waifu into this game 2 as we move into game 3 of good old Cortex, the Cortex, versus wait, why is what? Oh, okay, that was just looking at the one thing. All right, so 2 wins for our Zedburny boy, and we're moving to Abyss. I hate this stage. I'm going to be fully honest. I despise Abyss with every fraction of my being. But some people like this stage, and yeah, I'll be honest, I don't understand. You're playing a platform fighter. Why do you want to remove the platforms? But my moaning and groaning beside, this is a pretty good stage for Edalist because it allows him to use Ice Spit more effectively, and the long stable ground is pretty good for him, but I think in this matchup it's not as great because Fireball is a very good tool and it stuffs out a lot of what Edalist wants to do other than F-tilt, so having plats to deal with it makes it a lot easier. Cortex, I can see that you're desperate. It's obvious that you kind of just want to hit him. You're F-smashing him at 57%, which is a good friend Charcoal has said. You want to focus on trying to get your tilts, your nairs, your jabs at this percent. Right? It worked in that scenario, but you can see that you're starting to get just beat up for just kind of tossing up these moves without doing it safely. Ooh, combo's coming out. Ooh, really good catch. I was going to jump in there. Right, really respect going out there for that edge guard. Great tech. And the unfortunate SD because of the side B. This is where the fun begins. This is where the set ends. As we move into rounds. Right, good final set between these two. Either way, we shall be moving into Mr. Ember versus Big Dumb Waifu. Surprisingly not doing the Zedburn Ditto, sadly, as Ember has opted to choose to play Crag. I guess he's just not confident in the Ditto. Yes, that. What Charcoal here is saying is very important. never feel bad about having to do the simpler thing. It's one thing that I always say when another good point where this comes important as well is when people are high percent, don't just try to hit them with a smash attack. Sometimes just like smacking someone until they die at like 240% is what it's got to be. It's obviously not the best thing you want to do, but it's a lot easier to hit people with moves that aren't oh, what? I'm confused now. Oh, do I only have the... Do I only have one set of this? Wait. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm looking at... Never mind, I have everything. Ah. What? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like... my brain is dead. Alright, so we got the good old Craig versus the Zetaburn coming in for this grand finals. Going to be interesting to see if Waifu can come in and get the reset. We shall see. Yes, the Bug Rock. My most hated matchup in this game. I despise playing against Craig. But that's personal preference. Oh! Oh! If you had hit that other up air and gone into another one, I think you could have taken the stock off that conversion. Oh! Ember, my dude! What you doing? Ember decided he just wanted to die that day, I guess. Ooh. Alright. This is hard. Recovering... Crag's one of those characters that has really, really good at ledge trapping. It's... Hmm? Charcoal, you are spitting. There is nothing but facts in what you're saying. But the biggest things about recovering against Crag is dealing with rock, dealing with down B. It's not easy, and I don't have the brain power to give like a full breakdown right now of how to deal with Crag. The one thing I'll say is if you see Crag use Pillar out there, he has made his recovery a lot worse. The best way that Crag can recover is Pillar at ledge, because it is nigh unpunishable by a lot of characters, and this is set up wrong. You have not won yet, Big Dumb Waifu. Don't worry, Crag K2. That's why it kills you at 40%. Right. My biggest suggestion, which might find like be against like what you want to do, but play a lot against Crag. If you struggle with a matchup and struggle what to do, play against a Crag. Be in voice chat with the Crag and be talking to them. Be figuring out like, hey, why are you doing this? Why does this work? Why does this doesn't work? So on and so forth, and then you can get a feel for the matchup, because the only way that you're going to beat your demons is to fight your demons. And if you're not willing to do that, well, anytime you meet them in bracket, you're just kind of screwed. Alright, moving on to game 2. Ember taking game 1 as the big old Cragman. Alternative to that advice? I'm looking to hear it. Yes. Become the Crag. Ugh. That is something I will say. Big mistake that some people make is they think some characters busted. Yeah, actually, sorry, I thought you were being a bit of a jokester at that first charcoal, but that is actually like a really important thing to take into account. Like, I know trying to play Claren helped me understand the character a lot more. It also helps that Claren kind of works for my playstyle in general. So I kind of learned, like, oh, hey, their recovery sucks. And I felt how bad that recovery is. So now I know how to cover it better. Because Claren recovery, when you first play against it, is, like, it's like, oh, no, big hitbox, this is hard. But once you figure out, hey, it's a big hitbox that's super exploitable because of timing, then it's like, this is a lot easier. Let's go. Alright. Either way, game 2. Treetop, really good Crag stage, really good Zetter stage. Right? Basically just whoever can get you to that top plat, I don't know why I'm pointing as if you could see where on the stage I'm pointing to, but if they can get you on that high plat, it's a stock. It's so good. Yep, and as I said earlier, I think at this level of play, at least in the sense of tournament and playing competitively, it's a lot better to focus entirely on one character until you get to a point where you feel confident enough in your play that you want to start trying other characters, either to learn the character to get a feel for what they do, or to just learn the character in general to potentially replace your primary. Focusing on taking the character knowledge that you do know and applying it in tournament as singular character is a lot more important. Oh, the snipe. American Sniper coming in. Right? Got the 300-meter shot there. Ugh. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the downbeat conversion there. Right, the one thing that I'll point out that Ember's doing that's really good to learn from is patience at the ledge. I've talked before about like being willing to be aggressive and go off the edge, but there is nothing wrong with sitting on that ledge. Yep. And I think Amy's always weird. Amy and Inter can be like hand in hand sometimes, and sometimes it can be a really big gap. So I think offering that advice regardless is really good. But as I was saying about Ember, is he's willing to be patient at ledge, which while it's great to be hypey and get like those big edge guards, sometimes just sitting at ledge and smacking your opponent till they're at like 200%, it does not only does do a lot of percent, but it also does a lot of mental damage because it's exhausting for the other player to be edge guarded like that. Exactly, right? And I've talked about that a couple times where like you know your opponent's behind. Really good comeback for that set, by the way. Ember's just really inconsistent overall. Like Ember almost beat me. He's part of my crew, so we've played against each other a bunch. And we have a crew bracket, which is just like all the people in the crew play against each other. And he almost beat me in that bracket, but he still hasn't been able to consistently get main and win main yet. Which kind of speaks to like how, as much as like we talk about like low level, mid level, high level, top level, until top and high level, you can't. There's definable ways that you can like kind of tell where people are, but you can't really just like straight define it, right? Like it's such a player to player matchup, like, and that's why I always say don't worry about like seeding and all that shit, especially at this level, right? Just worry about who the person is in front of you and how they play. You don't care if they're consistently getting, like, if the person you're against consistently gets main bracket, that means they're consistently good, is all that says. But that doesn't mean you can't win. That doesn't mean you can't do well against them. What matters is that match at that moment. Right, and getting a feel for that. Because, like, I'll be honest, I was underestimating Ember because I'm a big dumb poopy head, and I looked at like, oh hey, Ember still plays in RRC, and I graduated a while ago, and I have some pretty good wins here and there, and I do pretty well. So I underestimated him, and I let him get in on that game, and it wasn't till I just kind of pulled my pants up, and I was like, you know what? I have to play this game. I have to give respect to Ember and play properly. Exactly. Sleep on no one. I'm going to repeat that again. Sleep on no one. Don't care if the person is an O2er in like the worst region in the world. He can come in and smack your ass because he knows that one cheese that you weren't ready for, and if you get hit by it, that's on you. And never, never, never take a loss and try to blame it on things other than yourself. Like, there can be certain factors. Yeah, Sylve's one of those characters that, like, especially at this level, because Sylve players are so inconsistent in general, like, and especially this game, as much as people like to argue that, like, there's certain levels of, like, what characters are top 3, there is no bad character in Rivals. There, like, as someone that's played I played a Ultimate for 2 years, there is bad characters in Ultimate. There is characters that do not do very well, but don't sleep on them either. Right? And there's characters in other fighting games that are like joke characters. They're designed to be bad, that are straight up bad. In Rivals, the tier list goes from S to B. There is no C tier. There is no D tier. It is S to B plus, I should say. Even A, depending. Well, I guess A to B could also be a thing. But either way. Don't ever... All that matters is the player you're against and figuring out that player. That is, like, once you... And if you focus on that, and once you learn, like, character matchups, obviously, like, if you're not good against Crag because you're not good against Crag's duel, you're going to do bad against Crag's regardless, no matter the level. But once you're at the level where you kind of have a good understanding of what all the characters do, then what matters isn't necessarily the character matchup and thinking, oh, I've beaten the top 50 Crag, then I can beat any Crag. No. Because that one mid-level Crag might play so differently in a way that you're not expecting, then you just get your shit kicked in. And it doesn't feel great. So, long story short, to repeat what Charcoal said a final time, sleep on no one. Exactly. Right? Never look down on people, no matter what. I appreciate that. Alright. Either way, we're going to move on to Game 3. Our philosophy shall be held back for a little bit longer as we go to Forest Floor. Good neutral stage for these two. And that parry makes me go back into a conversation we talked about earlier. Don't rely on parries. I know it gets, especially at this level of play where people like to play frame 1, press buttons a lot more, it can feel like you can get parries all the time, but you're betting everything on that parry, and unfortunate stock there. And betting it on that parry when instead you can try to move around and dodge the move and punish it better is better for you. Oh yeah. Oh, that's fine. You can go back. We'll be posting this entire VOD to YouTube, and I believe I have VOD still set up on my Twitch, so you can go back to watch those sets later on. I don't really have it figured out, but yeah, Crag and Zetter, it's a thing. But yeah, highly suggest you going back and giving it a watch. I don't know which person you specifically are because your Twitch name is different than any of the tags I've seen tonight, but really hope you get to see it. It will be good for you to learn from. Right, and the F smash. I find that you're really struggling to deal with that at ledge. I think the best thing for dealing with that at ledge... Actually, I got nothing. Like, my best bet would be to... be ready to go up in an angle that'll allow you to tech it. It's... Oh, it's icky, okay. Don't look down on yourself for this. This is a point to learn, and I'm not in the brain power to really, like... And I don't play Zetter to really break this down. I do know Balloon Doggo. He's a really good Zetter. Might be good to ask him for some advice. Ooh! There's the conversion. There's the stock. Let's go. Dash attack up smash. Classic. Always works. Not always. Don't listen to me. People we'll start DIing it out, but shh. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Yes, that's actually a great point, because in those times where you're getting up forward smash there, you can you can instead up B, and then when he's about to hit you with the forward smash, immediately air dodge through it, which then allows you to be actionable, and then you can air dodge shine, and the world is yours. And I accidentally replayed the same match. Give me a second. Alright. Spirit Tree now. Really good stage for both players. I think Crag benefits about the same, actually. This is pretty even. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just something, and this will go back into the discussion that Charcoal started earlier with, unfortunate, is, just, if it really comes down to it, there's a stage that you can get in, Workshop. Oh! Using his own pillar against him. There's a stage that you can get in, Workshop that puts you at a height where you would die if the platform wasn't there, and it allows you to practice recovering up to stage. And you can use that to, like, throw yourself off and practice without having to, like, constantly reset because you're dying off the side. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. You'll have to ask Clockwork, but it's a really good stage. And there's a lot of resources at Workshop that are really good to look at. I highly suggest not sleeping on Workshop stages as learning tools, and also Workshop Buddies. There is the combo tool, which tells you if your combos are true and if they're going to work, and it is quite accurate. And there's also the stage that goes in between different stages and has multiple forms. That's also really good. One thing that's unique about Rivals in comparison to other platform fighters is the way with how ledge works is if you get, as long as you're slightly touching edge, you can always tech it. So it's a great way to survive moves that should kill you at a lot of percents. Unfortunate. It's probably just how taps work in general, because it's just like, technically the hit stun is, even though it's like a true conversion, the hit stun is probably not enough for it to be technically true, but it's like you only have like a 1 frame window for each, so it's like right? So like it's true because nobody has a frame. Ori's the only one with a frame 1 option, and that's literally just Parasol going woo. So it's like, it's true, but it doesn't want you to say it's true. Either way, Ember able to take game 2, starting to make that comeback. Yeah, and I wish I could give you like some like definable good tip for movement. Oh my god, what? I didn't even know that. Charcoal. Yeah, and I wish I could like give you some like specific way to practice to do it, but it's simply just like practicing and getting a feel for it. That's all it comes down to. Right? If like, and I start like, in that's the hardest part about a lot of advice for some parts of fighting games, is because it's so muscle memory reliant and it's so reaction reliant that sometimes it just comes down to you play a lot, you get the game sense, you get the feel for the game, and you just get to do shit. Like, there's a lot of knowledge to still learn, and I actively say to seek out knowledge. Just playing the game can let you practice wrong and practice bad, and it's important to get advice from other people and to also look at your games, VOD review, get a feel for what you're doing wrong so you can do things right in the future. But when it ultimately comes down to it, it comes down to just playing this game a fucking lot. I've been playing since the start of April. I've been playing since mid-April. I played in the second RRC, and I've come up from there. And I came from playing Ultimate for a year and a half before that, and I've played a lot of other fighting games as well. So I'm coming in like with a bit more knowledge than some other people did when they first started out. And it still took me till like September? Fuck, I can't remember. It took me a while till I even got to the point where I could win a RRC, and I still can't win RAS. I can get phase 2 in major, but I can't win RAS because I'm not consistent enough. And that's also a different. Yeah. And always understand, don't, and this kind of goes back to before where we're talking about don't sleep on people. That also adds into don't compare yourself to people. All that will do is harm your learning. Right? And this is a discussion I've had with so many people, and it's something that I keep having to reiterate because it's so important. Everyone learns at a different place, exactly as Charcoal said. Yeah. Exactly. Right? Don't, if you're not learning something, if someone's like all of a sudden getting better than you, don't stress that. Be happy for them. Be happy that they're learning, and then you can use that energy to learn yourself. Right? And there's also like the big things with learning is there's natural plateaus you'll have too. Your learning isn't just like it's obviously called a steep learning curve, but how you actually learn that curve isn't going to match that exponential growth. It's going to be there's going to be points where you have an exponential growth and then you plateau. And then you grow again and then you plateau. And not letting that get to you too much, which is easier said than done, will allow you to improve in a healthy way that lets you, because ultimately we're here to have fun, right? That's why we pick up the controller and we go to someone's house and we play the game, or we go online and we play the game. It's to have fun. And I think in the pursuit of getting good and getting learning, some people miss that. And if I want anybody to take out of this stream is to try to have fun with the game, because the minute you're not, and I've seen a lot of people play when they're not having fun, and it's not healthy. I've had it too, right? I've sat here and I bashed my hands on my desk because I'm angry and I hate that I'm playing bad. And it's not good for anyone. Exactly that. Either way, we'll be moving into the final game of this set now that the heartwarming conversation is done. Alright, moving to Abyss as we play the final game of the set, 2-2. Going to see who takes it as Ember takes as Big Dumb Waifu takes a couple big dumb rocks to the face. Big thing about learning the Krag matchup that I want to point out is learning how to parry down B. I can't do it. I'll fully admit it. I suck at it. That's partially because Sylph has a kind of shitty sliding parry, but regardless, learning the timing of that fourth spike and getting good at parrying it, because you can, even in bad ping environments, like unless it's like, as long as it's below 100 ping, you can parry it on reaction. It's just getting that muscle memory to parrying it, which the best way I can suggest to do it, get a bot, have it set to just press down B, down B, down B, down B, and then just practice parrying it on reaction. I remember I was talking to Rich because I was talking about how I struggle with this, and he was talking about before a major, he knew he was going to play some Krags, and he was like, okay, he spent 3 hours plus just parrying Krag down B, just getting a feel for it, parrying it. And you know what? He got those wins, right? Sometimes what you need to do is just that pure grind. And it's not nice to have to say that, but it's the truth, right? As we're talking earlier about that. Right? And he is really catching you for the biggest thing about Krag, especially when he's close to you. Like, Rock's scary, you don't want to get hit by Rock, but if you hit Krag holding Rock, the world is yours. You get to finally, those years of being punched in the face by that Rock, the bloodied nose, the broken teeth, you can all give it back to him in that moment. So, whenever you see Krag holding Rock, be scared of him throwing it, but if you're close to him, just know, the world could potentially be yours. Because you can kill the Rock Bug, and be, finally, happy in this existence. Rock Bug at a really high percent, but we're not... it still could be anyone's game here. Krag's very heavy, and good parry there. Big thing about Ooh, unfortunate DI to finally take that set, as Ember is now our amateur winner for the second week in a row. I wasn't able to do the last do a stream for the last bracket because of everything wonky going off challenge. I had to focus more on doing the bracket, but regardless, here we are, and I appreciate having you all. I'm gonna see. It's a little late for me. I'd love to like go into another stream, invade it with y'all, but I have work in the morning. That is the one unfortunate thing about having to stream this late at night. I have work at 10:30, and I have to be ready for bed sooner than later. If you guys have any questions, hit me up with them right here. I'll be here for a couple more minutes, just as I get everything set up to leave. Otherwise, I shall see you guys again for the next amateur bracket next week for RRC number 37, and I'll also be looking. Oh, yes, exactly. The only absolution that you can get from Craig is by finally settling the pain in your soul by sending him into the blast zone. That is the only good thing you can get from Craig. But regardless, I'll be also planning, if you guys are interested in anything from me, I'll be doing some more streams during the week. I'm actually starting to have a schedule to my life. It's going to be nice. Hopefully, starting on Tuesday, I'll be able to start streaming myself doing some music or playing some games. I'll see you on day of. Either way, it was good to see you all. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you all later.